Okay, you call yourself a Republican. Are you okay with cutting Medicaid? Are you okay with cutting food programs that feed the needy? Are you okay with cutting energy programs that keep the heat on for seniors and kids? Are you for that? Because that's what the Trump bill does. It cuts 13.5 million people off of health care. 13.5 million people will have no coverage if this passes. Tens of thousands of kids will be kicked off of food programs. They won't be able to get food. And countless numbers of seniors will have their power shut off at important times like during the winter. This is the Republican bill. And my question to you is, do you call yourself a Republican? And if you do, why are you for something so terrible? I'm just asking.
Hey, MAGA. Republicans decided last night, early wee hours, to sneak in cuts to Medicare, not just Medicaid. Now it's Medicare. They just snuck it in. You know why? Because they need money for those tax cuts. That's all they care about.
And confirmed. Not only will the big beautiful bill be cutting Medicaid and SNAP, it'll also be cutting Medicare as well, in the amount of $1.2 trillion.
While all the Americans were sleeping, the House was busy passing that big, beautiful bill cutting Medicaid and food stamps to the poorest people. That's right, it goes on to the next step after changes have been made that we have no idea what they are. Considering that Republicans that voted against it the other day said there wasn't enough cuts to Medicaid and food stamps, while these sit in the Congress and get free health care, while they say you to the rest of us. How in the world can you still support these
So a woman that goes by the name Lisa on X, username thisbuttsforyou2, left a comment under our photo showing the immigration's operations in the city of Inglewood back on June 7th, 2025. And she wrote, "This is what 77 million people voted for, including me." Now let's fast forward to July 25th, 2025, where she wrote, "Trump's big beautiful bill is such a big beautiful bill that it cut off my severely disabled autistic son's medical off to where he no longer can get medical attention or is needed medication. Good job, and to think I voted for you not once but 3 times. Big mistake." Well, Lisa, since you said you voted for the immigration raids back on June 7th, 2025, that means you also voted for the big beautiful bill. And you were so happy to see people that you don't like get picked up by immigration, it blinded your judgment so far that you allowed the people that you voted in to gut your son's medical care. And today's episode is brought to you by FAFO, because nothing says karma when you fuck around and find out.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Now, MAGA voters, they are really regretting for voting for DJT. So we are seeing right now that MAGA voted to end Medicaid. Now they are crying about the consequences. So MAGA voters, they are the ones who voted to end Medicaid. Right now, we are seeing majority of them, they are coming out crying. Majority of them, they cannot afford to pay their medical bills. We are seeing their old, their elderly people, they are kicking out of the nursing homes. So this is to tell you that right now, MAGAs, they are having a rude awakening. So guys, I want you to watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment. All credit goes to the original creator of the video. I'm your host, Dash Lifestyle. Kindly remember, this video, it is only for educational purposes. Remember to give a video a thumbs up.
I just came out here to tell y'all that I work for Medicare. And the changes that Trump is making, oh dang, can I probably not say his name? Anyways, the changes that he's making is real life. They are cutting people's Medicaid checks, no letter, no explanation. They are increasing their Medicare coverage premiums. They're it's like the only result is that they trying to, all the elderly. I literally had a man that was getting a transplant, got the clear on Friday. Yesterday on the 1st, they cut everything, cut his Medicaid, cut his SSI. He can't get anything. So he cannot get his transplant. In 3 days, that made a change. Like, check on your grandma, check on your grandpa, your mama, your daddy, because they going through it. And it's really sad.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Because he's going to make America great again and make America straight again.
Why do you want America to be straight?
Because in 1962, it was a criminal act if you decided that you want to do GAY activities, and we need to bring those laws back.
Why do you want there to be laws that restrict people from engaging in gay?
Because it hurts our society.
How? In what way?
Because it's offensive, it's disgusting,
How
it's
is
unnecessary.
How is it offensive to engage in gay?
Because you can't procreate that way.
What about in context in which it can't reproduce?
Well, then you get another one.
You get another one? What do you mean?
Like if you have an infertile woman, then you get another one.
What? You just want to discard women as if they're like what property?
Yes. If
What?
they can't reproduce, yes.
You're disgusting, dude. You're disgusting. You think it's okay just to discard women because they can't reproduce? You said Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Who did she sleep with?
Who didn't she sleep with?
You. She didn't sleep with a bunch of people. Can you tell me who? Who did she sleep with?
9% of the government.
No, she didn't.
90% of the
90?
government?
That is diabolical. Who did she sleep with within the government that you were able to identify? How did you know this? Were you like the one sitting in the corner on like the little sofa by yourself?
I actually spoke with people who knew her and how she got to the top.
Who specifically?
Some of the top people in the government in D.C.
You have spoken to top people in the government. I'm more likely for that to happen.
What top people in the government have you spoke to, dude?
Unfortunately, they're retired since, and it's been years since I've spoken to them.
I want him to answer this question. Who did she sleep with? Like, seriously, give me like a specific person.
I was never given names.
Okay, so then how did you know it happened?
I was shown evidence of it.
What evidence were you?
Videos? Like what?
Y'all need to check on your grandparents because they're not okay. Let me tell y'all what the is going on. So, for example, these are examples and what I'm dealing with my elderly mother. My mom was getting $1,200 and some change from SSI. My father worked as a nurse, amongst other things, his entire life. For when he passed away, to pass it on to my mother, who can now live off of that because she was a housewife for 3 kids our whole lives. So now let's do some math here. She got $1,200. The average rent probably for a 1-bedroom is about roughly what, $900, but we'll say $980. Now I applied for her for food stamps. She gets $23. So we do $980, take away $1,000 and some change, and what do you have? Leftover money for the light bill, maybe even a phone bill. Hell, I don't know. It definitely ain't enough for a Snickers. But here's the problem. They're charging her now for her Medicare. So now she went from $1,200 to $707 because they're charging her for her Medicare. Do y'all hear what I'm fucking trying to tell y'all? How? Who? You can't live off of that. They can't live off of that. Our elderly community and disabled community is going to be all living on the streets and in their cars. The homelessness in this country is about to go up significantly. Y'all go check on your elderly because they're not okay. They are struggling.
Hello, my fellow Americans. I'd just like to understand if everybody here understands what filial laws are. Because frankly, if they do pass this budget bill that they're talking about passing and Medicaid gets basically defunded to the tune of like $1 trillion, well, hospitals that rely on that funding and nursing homes that rely on that funding, well, they're basically going to have to go back to privatized care. And if they go back to privatized care, well, I'm going to be honest with you, a couple shareholders are going to get rich. Our claims are going to get automatically set to denials. And, you know, we're going to be on the hook financially because filial laws. And filial laws are applying in like 30 states. So you should should really understand what that's going to mean for you, because basically it's saying that they can hold you civilly or criminally liable for not paying for your elderly parents and or in some cases grandparents medical care. Okay, in my situation, you may only have one living parent left, and he might have been an abusive piece of shit because he was an alcoholic and an addict, and honestly, you might not want to do that. You might rather want to go to jail than do that. So frankly, I think everybody should understand what it is that these people are voting for. And I know a lot of people were concerned about overtimes and taxes and taxes on tips and things. That's just the tip of the damn iceberg when it comes to this bill, okay? And a lot of people that are voting for it haven't even read the whole thing. They basically said that, okay, which I don't understand how that's even possible, because I know in my past position, if I didn't read a contract but I bound the company to it, I'd be held liable for that shit, okay? So I would just like to understand what it is we're all doing, and I would also like to understand why it is that MAGA Republicans seem to think that it's okay for their leaders to lie to them, because they said they weren't going to cut Medicaid funding, and they also said that they weren't going to, enact Project 2025, but here we are.
Donald Trump, did you see the man from West Virginia that called into C-SPAN complaining about the price of insulin that has gone from $8 under Joe Biden to $80 under you for those on Medicare? I mean, Donald Trump, really? MAGA, is this what you all planned on, and this is what you voted for? You voted to raise the price of insulin for those who get it. This was a 28-day supply, and under Biden and under the medical play, the way things were written, and reimbursement rates, etc., that it was $8 when Joe Biden was president for a 28-day supply of insulin, and now it's gone to $80 a month. Now, if you're on a fixed budget, the difference in $8 and $80 is $72 a month times a year is almost $1,000. It's roughly $900, give or take, but it's close. But it's a huge number. This is not what people voted for. MAGA, you're going to FAFO. You've messed around. You're going to find out. You're going to see what you voted for is not what you're getting. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. Anybody that also uses insulin and you've seen.
So I need to share a nightmare story with you, because I need you to know that this is happening. Of course, identifying details changed, but so I'm an OBGYN, and a few years ago I had a patient come in who had opted to have a home birth. And the reason she chose it was because she knew exactly how much it would cost, $2,000. And she said, I can pay that. She did not have insurance, and she was too scared that she would go bankrupt if she tried to have a birth in a hospital. And I get it. The average C-section costs $35,000 in this country for uninsured people. So she knew. The problem is that during her home birth experience, things were not going well, and she needed a C-section, and her home birth midwife was trying to have her come into the hospital. She delayed for hours because she was scared, not of needing a C-section, but because of how much it would cost. She finally came in, and I met her, and the first question was, how much is this going to cost? How much for the spinal, for the blood draw, for the operating room, like how much? And I'm sitting there helpless while I'm watching her baby not do well. And don't come at me and say, oh my gosh, how could she care about that? She cares about that because she's an American, and she's paying attention, and she knows just how much she could lose everything. And eventually we do the C-section, and the baby ended up being fine, but would have been a lot better if it had been done sooner. And she ended up hemorrhaging and needing blood transfusions, which, yes, cost money, but are also risky things she could have avoided. The next day, rounding on her, and I was like, I need to check your blood count again. How much is that going to cost? My heart broke for her. So here's the thing. This is a horror story, but this is healthcare in America. And for people who are on Medicaid, she wasn't, but for people who are on Medicaid, which, by the way, is the biggest payer of all births in this country, they're going to lose that. I can tell you, more and more people are going to do exactly what she did, which is not get care, not get prenatal care, not birth where they would have chosen, because they're so scared that they're going to lose everything financially. And Republicans are just okay with that. I felt helpless in that moment. But the reason I'm sharing that story today is because I know stories can change things, and I need you to share your stories too. And when we do that, we feel less helpless. So I have and you can share yours too, and we need to, because I know we're ringing all sorts of alarms, but this one is huge. $1 billion of cuts to a program that pays for people like this who could have benefited then and would benefit now. So she doesn't have that nightmare. We don't have that nightmare. I think is worth speaking up for. This isn't okay.
America's healthcare system is already on the brink of collapse, but the cuts to Medicaid and Medicare that Republicans have been pushing through the last 2 nights in the middle of the night will cause total chaos. My name is Lex. I'm a nurse. I am quite literally waiting to go inside for my shift this morning, but I really feel like everyone needs a little bit of context as to why this matters and why this is so catastrophic. These cuts, and the cuts are in total over $1 trillion to both Medicaid and Medicare will cause sheer and utter chaos in our healthcare system. Now, they want to cut over $800 billion to Medicaid alone over the course of 10 years. What does that mean? So that's roughly 10% of Medicaid's budget. Every year, Medicaid has around $800 billion to spend. So if you cut $800 billion in 10 years, that's 10%. Medicaid is the largest reimbursement of nursing homes, okay? Without Medicaid, and any cuts to Medicaid means your grandma and grandpa and your parents are going to be neglected in their nursing homes. And I'm not saying that because the staff is at fault. I'm saying that because when budget is cut, nursing homes cut staff. Right now, today, as I'm making this video, nursing homes are already making nurses take care of 30 to 40 patients. We can't be everywhere at once. Those ratios are about to grow. So a 10% cut to Medicaid does mean that there will be massive neglect in our nursing homes. It also means that some nursing homes are going to shut down completely. And that means that the hospitals you and I rely on, every single hospital in this country is going to have a delay getting people out of the hospital. People are going to sit and wait for discharge because a lot of the folks that come into the hospitals need to discharge to nursing homes, whether it's for rehab or long-term care or whatever. That's not going to happen. They're already full. The nursing homes are already full. Now they're about to get their budget cut. We are not going to be able to move people out of these hospital beds, you guys. And that means catastrophic levels of delays in care for everyone else. I don't know how much clearer I can be. If there are no hospital beds, there are no hospital beds. That means no beds for your car accident. Sorry, you come in with a broken femur and a broken pelvis. If we don't have beds, we're not going to treat you in the parking lot. We legally can't do that. So this is going to affect everybody. Private doctor's offices who primarily take Medicaid patients. If you go to that doctor and you don't have Medicaid, if they shut down, does it matter? Does it matter? Simply put, the disabled and the elderly are going to die because of these cuts. And Republicans know that. They know that that's why they're doing these votes at 1 in the morning. They know that only 15% of Americans, regardless of political belief, 15% support Medicaid cuts. That is one of the most unpopular policy positions in history. Not to mention all of the rural hospitals who will simply put shut down. A lot of these rural hospitals are almost completely reimbursed by Medicaid and Medicare. If they lose that money, they will shut down. A lot of them are already on the brink of shutting down as it is, which means that rural Americans, small town Americans will have to drive hours to see a doctor. That means death.
Okay, I'm going to try my damnedest to make it through this video without tears. There's a point to this video, so I know that everybody's attention span is shorter these days, mine too, but if you have a moment to stick around, please do. 10 months ago, my dad was in a head-on collision, and he broke 9 ribs, fractured his knee, had a brain bleed, and amongst other minor abrasions, there were these major damages that his hip is still messed up. Like, it was rough. My dad is 73 years old, but he gets down like he's still 40. And so just, I'm prefacing with that. During this time, he had to depend on me and public assistance, like, you know, people who are on Medicaid, Medicare, the elderly, can have like ride assistance and things of that nature. My dad is a very proud man and never wants to be a burden. With that being said, parenting your parent is not for the weak, and there were many times where I had to put him in his place, which was hard for me as someone who was raised to respect your elders. Being unable to do what he needed to do for himself made him feel very frustrated, and My dad is literally the happiest man I know. So seeing him a little grumpy sometimes or frustrated when things were not going right because he had to depend on others was hard, but understandable. I'm saying that because I'm prefacing with all of this for a reason. There were a lot of times where the system failed him, and I would have to end up taking off of work to take him, or leave work to take him, things of that nature. Today at the dentist office, there was an elderly woman. She was in her 80s, and she was there before 1 o'clock, and the office closed at 4, and her ride still hadn't shown up. I called the transportation company for her to figure out what was going on. I was on the phone with them for an hour, and by the time an hour had passed, it could take another 3 hours to get her ride there, which was incredibly unacceptable, and I was 2 seconds from taking this woman home myself. I ended up not having to take her home, but I did help her get into, after some words with the transportation company, they found a driver, and once he got there, I helped her in the car. It was hard for her. It was hard for her to get in the car. Of course, she was on a walker, and she was telling everybody who would listen her story. She can't call her kids because they're at work and they can't just leave their job, and I am gonna go out on faith and say that if her kids actually knew that she was stranded, they would have come to help, but she didn't want to be that burden. When I got her in the car, she looked up at me and said, "I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be a pest, and I took up all your time. I only foresee this problem getting worse. I'm sure it's exacerbated by current events, but I only see it getting worse. Because my father's accident happened before the change in administration, and it was already bad. And so with cutting all of these services and things that our elderly and young people need, I just foresee it getting so much worse." And really, this video is not political. It's not. My actual main point here is, if you are young now and you have your wits about you and you are able to walk and talk and get around and take the bus, if you don't have a car, call a Lyft. If you don't have a ride, please don't take that for granted. And anytime you can help somebody else, do it. It's really time that we start taking care of each other, because you're gonna get there one day. My hope is that all of us were to be in our 80s and still kicking and still driving, but we know that's not going to happen. So just take care of one another, and really, because this is, I hate the way that our elderly, our veterans, the children once they're born are treated, because and I try to do everything myself. I try not to ask for help, because everybody's got something. But anyway, just remember, you'll get there one day, and hopefully somebody will be on the phone for you if you ever need a ride. Just put good out there. That's really what this story's about. Witnessing it firsthand just really gives me a very sensitive perspective. So take care of yourself and take care of each other.
Dear Republican lawmakers, I'm an unemployed young person living in my mom's basement, and you just voted to take away my Medicaid. And you said that I needed to get a job because I'm a lazy bum. Well, here's how I became the lazy bum I am today. A year ago, I was employed, therefore I deserved health care. I was building buildings for our great nation. I was presenting research at conferences. But I got COVID, which developed into multiple chronic illnesses, which made me really lazy. Here's me lazily getting tested for my debilitating chronic fatigue. Here's me getting infusions because COVID destroyed my immune system because I'm so lazy. I was taking all these pills trying to maintain my job, but I was just getting sicker and sicker. Or, lazier and lazier, am I right? I got so sick that I needed to quit my job, leave the life that I had built, and move in with my mom, and it was all because I was just so lazy. I quickly blew through all my savings to maintain my healthcare, and because we're so far from a cure from long COVID, and let's be honest, who wants to fund that anyway, I had to get on Medicaid to maintain my health and keep myself alive. But now you've introduced work requirements to Medicaid to cure me of my laziness. I have the privilege of neglecting my health until it becomes a medical emergency and then showing up to the ER and then after that declaring medical bankruptcy. What freedoms? You'll probably tell me that this can all be avoided if I apply for disability, but we both know that that will take years to approve, if at all. So thank you, Republicans, for selling out my health for Jeff Bezos' next yacht, just as God intended. I'm proud to be an American.
I can't live like this anymore. Nobody cares about you unless you're dead or dying.
When I was 21, I sustained a back injury that left me paralyzed with pain. The slightest movement would send excruciating pain down my back, through my buttocks, and all the way down to my leg. I wasn't able to put any weight on this leg. I literally had to be carried from my bed to the toilet, and I needed assistance in the toilet at the age of 21. And of course, like most Americans, I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I couldn't afford proper medical care. I went to the local family doctor and he did an x-ray and he's like, oh, well, you're young and healthy. This is probably just an inflamed muscle. You'll be all right in a few days. Fast forward 6 months, I'm still in this excruciating pain, unable to walk. My entire life shut down. I quit my job because I couldn't work. I dropped out of college because I couldn't attend classes, and I was isolated from all my friends because I literally couldn't go out. When we eventually realized that this was a serious medical condition that wasn't going to go away with rest, we collected money to pay for steroid injections to reduce the inflammation on my buttocks where I felt most of the pain. And these injections were $500 a piece, and I needed 3 injections. Now I can walk, but I'm limping because I still have pain. So we decided to do physical therapy. Went to a physical therapist and found out that it was going to be $100 a session out of pocket. I was like, there's no fucking way I can afford this. She recommended me to go to a chiropractor, which was $25 a session. I was like, fine, we can afford this. I saw this man for an entire year. For an entire year, he kept doing these stretches on me, kept fixing my back, and every other week I would still be limping into his office. It took him a year to be like, hey, you know what? I can't fix you. You need to go see a surgeon. You need to see an orthopedic surgeon to find out what's going on. I think you might have a serious back condition. I go to an orthopedic surgeon. He tells me I need an MRI. I tell him, hey, I don't have insurance. How much is this going to cost me? He's like, oh, $1,200. I'm like, hey, I can't afford that. Can I go get an MRI from somewhere else? Can you write me a note? I'll go get an MRI and I'll bring it to you. He writes me a note. I pay $600 out of pocket to get an MRI. And finally, it's been 2 years at this point. 2 years after my injury, we finally find out that I have a herniated disc, which is putting pressure on my nerves. It's putting pressure on my spine, which is causing inflammation in my spine and causing inflammation through all the muscles throughout that nerve that runs down my right leg. So the surgeon tells me the only way to correct this problem is that I need to get a surgery done, which is called a microdiscectomy. Basically, they shave off a portion of the disc, which is putting pressure on my spinal cord. And this surgery costs close to $35,000 out of pocket. I tell him, hey, I don't have this money. What can I do? And he's like, well, you need to get insurance. And this is before Obamacare. So my only option was to get a job and work with excruciating back pain. And I'm like 23 at this time, almost 24. And the only jobs I can get without any work history or without a degree from a university is retail jobs. So I spent the next 6 months of my life standing, folding clothes at Express and JCPenney so that I could get insurance so that I could pay for my surgery. Whilst I'm waiting to collect the money to afford my surgery, my doctor is prescribing me powerful painkillers. I'm talking Vicodin, oxycodone, Valium to help with my pain. These are highly addictive medications. They're made from heroin, basically, the same poppy plant. He was prescribing them to me like candy. I would run out. He wouldn't ask another question. I would go in for my weekly or monthly visit. He would just write me another prescription. He's prescribing a child Vicodin. And of course, I got addicted. I got addicted to these pills. I found myself popping these pills in moments where I didn't have the pain. I just took it because I had the fucking craving for it like a cigarette. When I finally, first of all, become eligible for my health insurance, because it doesn't kick in right away, after months of working and collecting money, not spending money on anything else, just literally just saving money for my surgery, I gather the $6,000 surgery copay that I need to get this surgery done. I get my surgery scheduled and I go to my boss and I tell her, hey, I need a month off of work because I'm getting a major back surgery done. She tells me the best I can do is 7 days, which is 5 days that I normally am scheduled to work, plus the 2 additional days off the week that I get. So the best she can do is 1 week. And I shit you not, 1 week after my surgery, I'm working at JCPenney and I'm bleeding through my shirt because I'm not supposed to be on my feet. I'm bleeding through my shirt and my manager goes, hey, there's some blood on your shirt. Go take care of that. And by this time, I'm 24 years old and I get my surgery done. And through that, thankfully, I regained my mobility, but the pain has never gone away. I still, to this very day, I'm 36 years old. I have pain every single day. Every single day of my life for the past 15 years has been in pain. Fast forward 3 years, obviously I quit that job and I have a new job as a graphic designer for a much bigger company, and my injury is flaring up. I'm having trouble sitting at my desk, so I need to take some time off work. I wanted to apply for short-term disability. I went back to that surgeon, right? And I brought the form with me that my company was 100% okay with this. They're like, yeah, we can see you're hurting. Go get this form signed by your surgeon. I take this form to my surgeon and he looks at me and he's like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you're still having pain. We did the surgery. You should be completely fine. You're young. You're skinny. There's no way you're having this pain. And I was literally speechless. I was like, listen, my company has already approved this. All I need is for you to fill out this paperwork that says I have a serious medical condition. I don't need anything else from you. As soon as he gave me the paper with his signature, I stormed to the front office and I told them to give me every single medical record they have of me. And I never want to see this doctor ever again in my life. I've spent half my life in pain. You don't know what that does to a person. Like, I want to go out. I want to explore the world. I want to see everything that there is to offer. And some days I wake up, I can't walk. And why do I have to live my life like this? It's the worst feeling to try to explain to somebody how much pain you're in and they completely dismiss you. 15 years, bro. You don't know what that's like. I was a child. I was a baby. My entire life has been ruined because I had the misfortune of being in this country that doesn't give a shit about its citizens. Even as I'm sitting in my car right now talking to you guys, I'm in pain. And I've accepted I'm never going to wake up and jump out of bed and be totally okay and be ready to seize the day and be excited for what the day brings, because I'm always going to have this pain. If we had universal healthcare like most developed nations of this world, I would not have to live my life like this. From the moment I experienced the first sting of pain, I could have gone straight to the doctor and be like, hey, there's something wrong. We could have done the test. We could have done all of the tests that I needed. If I had the proper care when I first sustained this injury, I would have never needed surgery. I would have gone straight into physical therapy. They would have helped me manage my pain, and I would never, ever be in this position. My entire life was ruined at the age of 21 because of the healthcare system in this country, and my story is not unique. I'm not unique. This happens to millions of people every day, every year, and our masters don't give a fuck. The healthcare system in this country is made for profit. It is not about caring about the health of the citizens. It's about squeezing every drop of money, that every dime that a person has.
No politician in his right mind would ever vote on a bill to cut Medicaid, especially a politician who has a midterm coming up. That, folks, is complete political suicide. But they're going to do it anyway. And that tells me one thing. They have midterms taken care of. Because it just does not match. Like, you can't put those two together and make that make any type of sense whatsoever. I mean, you are going to hurt the American people like very few politicians have ever hurt the American people. And you know that you were going to hurt the American people. And you lied about whether you were going to hurt the American people by cutting Medicaid. How many times did we hear that they weren't going to touch that when we all knew there was no way to get the figure they wanted without cutting it? And instead of taxing the rich, all right, they're just going to take from us. Complete, utter political suicide. But that's in normal times, and we don't live in normal times. But for this to happen just tells me what's coming. And I guess there's nothing we can do about it unless we get this regime out of DC.
Because I was raised in a cult and other people on here talk about cults, I somehow thought that everybody on here was cult literate. Y'all are not cult literate, and I can tell by my comments. And I can tell because many of you think that your MAGA friends, family, co-workers, or whoever are going to call you up one day and say, yo, I was wrong. I was wrong about Trump. That is almost never, ever going to happen because cults leave in silence. It's a quiet quitting. You know, the thing the boomers hate? Yeah, it's a quiet quitting. They don't even tell their spouses. They don't tell their children. They don't tell anyone. They will even play along for years. They won't believe it. They won't do the things they're supposed to do, but they will play along. And as the doubt starts to creep in, sometimes they'll even double down because they're afraid of what that doubt means. And sometimes when you want to talk to them about it and they get really loud and angry, that can also be because I can talk crap about the cult I came from, but you can't because they haven't completely sorted it out. So a lot of you are like, well, they're still yelling for this and they're still saying he's great. Yeah, because a lot of them are still locked in there. But the fact that I'm seeing online people critiquing him that are MAGA, they have concerns about him picking fights with other countries. The tariffs are on, then they're off again. Like, are they good or are they not good? Like, what's the deal there? They don't like what's going on with the stock market. A ton of them hate Elon Musk. And I've said from day one, it is amazing that we have Elon in this because they're locked in together because of Putin. Elon's not going anywhere. And Trump loves Elon because Elon has no charisma. So he can never be better than Trump. It doesn't matter how much we try and pit them against each other. Trump knows that Elon would crumble on his own. He cries. He can't handle it. Okay? So you have people online critiquing Trump. That never, ever happened before the election, before the inauguration. You never saw that. Never. They were lockstep. I have people in my own life that are saying they're scared because of the finances. Some of them, their adult children are losing their businesses. I don't think that occurred to them. They are freaked out now. They said they feel duped. They feel like they made the wrong choice. And you will say, well, we told them. You never told the cult a thing because cults cannot hear you. That's like taking a drug and then people are yelling at you something like, just snap out of it. You can't. They cannot hear you the way you think they can. So we walk around angry like, well, we told them. You didn't. You told them something, but their brain changed it around because they are in a 24/7, 365 echo chamber at church, at work, among their friends and family. And you think they're bombarded with the same information you are. They're not. They are literally told we are demons, literal demons, and that we're lying and that we are a cult and we're trying to trick them. You think you've done something when you tell them how it is, but you haven't because they can't hear it until there's something that happens in their lives that makes them doubt or makes them afraid or something doesn't line up or it's not paying out the way they want it to. The other things I'm seeing, I'm just seeing it from people that are hardcore Trumpers, like my sister-in-law's dad. He would do anything for Trump, but man, he hates Elon, and he thinks that that's leading Trump off. So there's a criticism of Trump right there. Like, how is he led off by other people? Like, why is that happening? So there are cracks because cult members never, ever critique the leader. They don't even critique the agenda unless they are so concerned that they have to voice it, because as they start to voice it, it challenges their own beliefs and it threatens their very way of life. And while you want to say, like, well, just walk away, how many people in your life, even including you, have been in a bad relationship? Everybody could see it. Everyone says, that guy's a dick. He's bad for you. He's bad for you. And even the woman will say, like, yeah, I know. Does she get in the car and leave? No, especially if she has kids. These people, a lot of them, their work's tied into the Republican Party. Their church is. So then they have to question their faith on top of their politics. This is way more convoluted than just a religion. It's everything mixed into one. They have to be willing to lose their family. They have to be willing to lose work. My mom still works with conservatives. Does she go picking fights with them? No. But they are starting to admit that they've got some real concerns. They could lose their religion. What they have to do, what you're asking them to do, is the hardest thing they will ever have to do. Leaving a cult is the hardest thing a human can do, because humans' biggest fear is being conned. The shame that comes with that is so bad that people will go to the greatest lengths to run from the reality that they got duped.
Good morning, everybody. Just when you think Republicans couldn't fuck shit up anymore, they decide in their committee meeting last night at 1 a.m., mind you, that they're going to potentially add in $500 billion worth of Medicare cuts to this new budget bill. That's on top of them cutting Medicaid, SNAP benefits, and other things. I want to know what fucking alternate reality these people are living in. Republican representative from Missouri, Jason Smith, said this. He said, and I quote, "Americans voted for an America where workers and families will thrive again. Main Street and rural towns will grow again. And America wins again." Whose America are you talking about there, bud? Because it sure as hell isn't the people in your state when you cut their Medicare and Medicaid benefits. It sure as hell isn't the people in my state. So who are you talking about? God forbid Republicans increase taxes on billionaires. God forbid. Because they wouldn't have to cut Medicaid and Medicare if they just made billionaires pay the taxes that they actually owed, or made them pay a fair share of taxes. It's like they somehow think that if they raise taxes on billionaires and super wealthy, that they're somehow going to end up destitute within like 5 months. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Elon Musk is not going to be eating beans and weenies anytime soon because he runs out of fucking money from paying extra taxes. Jeff Bezos is not going to be on a street corner begging with a fucking cup in his hand because he can't bring in enough money from Amazon and all his stock options. It's just not fucking logical. But you know what it is? It's the fact that those billionaires donate more money to campaigns like this dipshit from Missouri, and to people like Mike Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all those fucking pieces of trash in Congress. On both sides, actually. They're the reason that people in my family may lose their Medicaid.
Well, yeah, the groundwork is there to cut Medicaid. It also is laying the groundwork for, they don't exactly call it cuts, but Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are both in here, or all three in here. And the line that they're using is, it is to protect these three core programs from fraud, waste, and abuse. We all know what that means. So, the other thing that is in here is to raise the debt ceiling $4 trillion. I've got my coffee. Let's go talk about it, because this is going to change the lives of 8.5 million people, and not in a good way.
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how MAGA people, they are having a rude awakening. These people, they went ahead and vote against their own interest. These people, they voted for racism. These people, they voted for deportation. These people, they voted thinking that DJT policy will not affect them. It will only affect black people. But things have turned around. Things have changed. We are seeing the most people who are being punished right now, they are the MAGA people, the Republicans. They are the people who are really being punished because of voting against their own interest. And these people, they went ahead and vote to end Medicaid. You can imagine the people that they know that Medicaid, it is really helping them. They're the same people who they are going to vote to end Medicaid. We have seen majority of people, they are really suffering because the Republicans, they went ahead and vote to crash the big beautiful bill. And this big beautiful bill, it was helping majority of poor people, majority of the children. They have this big beautiful bill. It was providing some of the snacks to the children, and also it was helping those people who they cannot afford their medical bill. So this is to tell you that things have really changed, and MAGA people, MAGA voters, they are really crying out loud because of the mistake they did. So guys, I have some of the comment here that I also want to read it for you. And also guys, you can remember, you can share your thoughts on the comment section. Tell me, what do you feel about our topic of today, seeing MAGA people coming out crying after the big beautiful bill was a crash, after right now there's no Medicaid. Recently we saw at the nursing home, it has already started to tell the people who are having their elderly people in the nursing home to come and pick them, or if they will not come and pick their elderly people in the nursing home, the nursing homes will start to kick them out. So this is to tell you that this is not what these people they voted for, because right now, why are they crying when they knew very well that their elderly people will be kicking out, their medical bill will be slashed? So this is to tell you that these people right now, because they are crying, they didn't expect this to happen to them, but they expected this to happen to the black people. So let me just read some of the comment here. This one is saying that Trump is not your boss. We are Trump boss. He is our employee. Yeah, so this one saying that we will never let MAGA forget this. Yeah, for sure, MAGA will not forget this. For a very long time, these people that have been voting to punish black people, these people that have been voting for racism, these people that have been voting against their own interests. But this time round, it is like God is using DJT to punish these white people for voting against their own interests for a very long time. So right now, these people, they are now realizing that they have been doing a mistake, and also the same punishment that they are going through right now, it is like God, you want also them to go through this punishment and see what black people that have been going through for a very long time. So this one is saying that people around the world here are bona fide by the American healthcare system. So America healthcare system right now, it is only for the billionaires who can afford healthcare right now in America, because things have really changed. There's no Medicaid, which was helping those low income people. So things have really changed in America. This one is saying that if you vote for Trump, you have absolutely no right to cry and bitch about anything. Yeah, so if you voted for Trump, you should not come out and cry. I don't know why these people that are coming out and crying, and they know very well that they voted for Trump. And also, black people warn them. Black people try to warn them not to vote in for Donald Trump, but these people, they went ahead and vote for racism. They saw Kamala Harris was a black person, and because of her agenda, these people, they ignore to vote for Kamala Harris because of she's a woman, and also she's a black person. So these people, they saw, no, we are not going to vote for a black person. Let us vote for DJT. So, and that's why you are seeing right now they're coming out and regretting for voting for DJT. So this one is saying that it's a real shame. Most of the people who need to see this will never stop to look at it. Yeah, so right now, these people, they are black people, they are seeing them like it is really shame. It is shameful, because how can you come out vote for this administration, and yet once again you are coming out crying and complaining. So there's no sympathy for them. So this one saying that he didn't say he loved the poorly educated. So this one is saying that you can't fix stupid when it comes to MAGAs. So this one is saying that hard to feel sorry for these racist fools. Yeah, so it is time to feel sorry. But these people, they have been voting for racism for a very long time. And even after them also having this rude awakening, if these people, I don't think if they will change, because they will not, they will still come out and vote Republicans. These people, they will never change. So this one saying that, you know, first of all, when these people when something it is affecting them, these people, they will come out and talk. But when something it is affecting other people, not them, these people, they will keep quiet, they will not do something. So right now things are really affecting them, and they are coming out crying, and at some point they have come out and also start to ask help from black people. So this one saying that try getting private insurance when you are 75 years old with pre-existing condition. Yeah, so this one is saying that we are this one saying that we are if critical think and empathy are being treated as weakness, stubbornness and tribalism, racism are rewarded. If we don't do something about this as a country, we won't have a country left to save. Yeah, so you can see this is one of the MAGA. I think he has come out and also write a comment here that the people, the Americans, they need to come out and do something. If they will still sitting down and let DJT do what he's doing, they will not they will not have a country in America. So this one saying that the horrible education, healthcare, and worst of all, racism. The bigotry in America is disgusting, and the worst part is that they are proud of it. I celebrate every day that I was never born in there. This one saying that, hey, remember, before you complain about all this high cost and bad healthcare, the billionaires have tax breaks. Yeah, so before these people, they can come out and complain, the billionaires, they are now setting the policy which it is favoring them but not favor the poor people. You know, you know, right now America, it is for billionaire. They are the ones who are controlling economy in America, so they are making the policy which it is favoring them. And I came out and tell you that if you are a billionaire in America, America will continue to make you a billionaire, more richer. But if you are not, you will still continue to be poor, because right now things have changed. So this one saying that it is ironic that homelessness is about to spike when it's now illegal to be homeless in the United States. Yeah, so this one saying that release the Epstein files. Yeah, this one is telling the DJT to release Epstein file. I live in Sweden and we have very high tax, but when I got sick, I have got 80% of my paycheck from our government. After years with pain, they decided to give me a pension. We got free health care. Mothers who get children can stay home for a whole year with 80% of payment. All daddies have a couple of months home. We have free schools with free lunch, all from 5 years old up to university. Hey, this is Sweden. Yeah, so this one is saying that worst place that than hell, Magaland. Yeah, so this one is saying that but I never thought leopards will come to eat my face. Cries woman who voted for leopard eating face party. Fafo, have fun living in the country you wanted to get. Yeah, so this one is reminding the MAGA people whatever they did. So these people, they should not come out and regret right now. So this one is saying that how one can vote against healthcare is beyond me. Yeah, so these people, they knew very well that the big beautiful bill was going to be crushed, and they went ahead and vote. So this one saying that This one saying that I have had 4 C-sessions and I never had to worry about any money. I have no idea how much anything cost for me or my kid. It's because I am Canadian. I am 73. I'm 73. Kindness have disappeared more and more every year. So this one, let me just read it for you. We are having so many comments. People have really come out and share their comments. So this one is saying that it's almost as if people should be voting on the candidate and the party policies instead of Bud Light, bear cans, corporate logo rebranding, and M&M not being sexy anymore. These people are sucked into voting for the billionaires over the culture war bait nonsense. That's the corporation Republican Party threw at them to bite on. Yeah, so this was saying that a millionaire second is it is 11 days. A billionaire second is 37 years. Yeah. So these are some of the comments that majority of people that have come out and share. And also, guys, you can share your thoughts on the comment section. And also, guys, remember to give your video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends so that they can know what it is exactly happening. Thank you so much, guys. See you on my next one. Bye bye.